I see that you are upset, you are struggling, you are stressed, and you have these automatic thoughts that are disturbing you and making you to feel even more anxious and sad. And oftentimes we don't notice those thoughts and automatic feelings, and we are reacting to them automatically, which creates loops of different habits. And once we step back, sometimes we realize that these patterns of behavior and habits are not useful or not serving us anymore. Maybe in the past you had some experiences, somebody hurt you, you felt very disappointed, you felt broken, and right now you have developed these habits to react to certain thoughts or feelings that you have in a certain way. However, you have grown up, and maybe right now this habit or this behavior is not serving you anymore, or it's not helping you to move forward towards the version of you that you want to become, or to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So today I want to discuss about these automatic negative or intrusive thoughts that you might have, how to become aware of these thoughts, and how can you learn to respond to them differently in a manner that will carry you towards your goals, towards your dreams, and would make sense for you. I see your pain, I see your struggle, I see how heavy is it what you are carrying, and how painful is it to have these feelings. Sometimes you just don't want to feel them, you want to push them away, or to avoid anything that causes this pain or reminds you about different pictures from the past. And it's quite normal. These feelings are showing that we are human beings, and they are showing about your needs, about what you want, what matters for you. And sometimes they are showing carrying some scars from the past, that in the past maybe you had some situations that remind you about your past right now, and maybe because of this you might be feeling this way. Or even if small cases, not very serious cases, can awake strong feelings, it's because you have experienced it in the past. However, the good news is that we can learn how to manage these feelings, how to keep going despite these painful feelings and thoughts. It's common for ourselves that we can coach in the cycles of negative thoughts. When you feel overwhelmed, when you feel stuck, when you feel that you are hurt, your mind can be telling you different stories about yourself, about other people, about the way you perceive the world. For instance, you might have some thoughts such as you are not capable, you feel stuck, that nothing's gonna change, nothing's gonna improve, and that people will hurt you again, or this pain will never go away. However, when you remind yourself that these are just thoughts, and you are not your thoughts, and these thoughts don't have to define who you are and how you are going to act, what are you going to do, you will sense this sense of lightness, and you will become aware that you are just a space for these feelings and thoughts, and you are the one who is noticing these thoughts, and your behavior doesn't have to be shaped by these thoughts, and they are just some messages that are carrying some meaning from your past experiences or from what you care about, but they don't have to define who you are going to be in the future, and they don't have to shape your relationships, shape your relationship with yourself, and they don't have to considerably impact the way you are perceiving the world, the people, and you are always capable of developing new views about the situation and questioning how close they are to reality, or how much power do they have over you. And when you will able to create a distance between yourself and your thoughts, and detach from them, diffuse from them, you will feel this sense of ease and lightness, and it will be easier for you to focus on what you want to achieve. Which version do you want to see, which of your qualities you want to see despite these challenging thoughts and feelings. Anyone has negative intrusive thoughts, and The only difference why people behave differently is that they learn how to respond to these negative thoughts. If you are alive, you will always have automatic thoughts. For instance, maybe you have some thoughts that you forgot some meal in the stove, or you forgot to lock the door, or you might get ill when you come from outside if you don't wash your hands. And when you notice these thoughts, how you are reacting to them. Are you washing your hands for 3-5 times? Are you checking the door for many times? Are you going back home in order to check is there a meal? Or this can be also thoughts related with relationships. For instance, if you think that people might hurt you, or that you might say something wrong, or something that might disappoint other people, try to understand where did you get these thoughts from? What helped? What was the reason of having these thoughts? And are they serving you right now? How you are responding to these thoughts? For instance, if you think that other people might hurt you, or might make you to feel pain, how this impacts your relationships. Or if you are constantly thinking about anything that you do can upset people, how helpful is it for you to become successful? Is it serving your goal? Can you be confident in what you are doing if you are constantly focusing on these thoughts? And can there be another way of dealing with these thoughts? Once we realize that these are just thoughts and they don't have to define us, they don't have to shape our behavior, it gets easier to step back and to concentrate on what matters. For instance, when you catch yourself on the thought that you are not capable, there are several strategies that you can use to decrease the impact of that thought over you. You can try to tell it out loudly, share it with somebody whom you care, or write it down, or imagine that this thought is somewhere on the clouds or on the computer, and it's slowly swimming away, like getting away. And once you will be able to observe your mind without judgment, without attaching any emotions to these thoughts, they will stop disturbing you, and you will be able to shift your attention towards what matters, even in the presence of these thoughts. So anytime when you will notice thoughts that are triggering certain behavior, take a deep breath and ask yourself how you want to respond to these thoughts instead. Which version of you do you want to show up even in the presence of these feelings, and where you want to go, and which action would help you to get there. And for instance, if you have noticed that whenever you are having a thought that you are not capable, what are you doing generally? How you are responding to it? Maybe you feel anxious, you feel sad, you start to cry, you isolate yourself, and you can't complete tasks during the day. So what you can do instead, what you can do differently. And once you change your behavior, this would impact your mood as well. For instance, if you are having a thought that you are not capable, you are failing, and if you will not be isolating yourself, or if you will not be crying or feeling sad and isolating yourself, what you can do instead, maybe you can go for a walk, maybe you can meet with some people even if you feel sad, and oftentimes you would notice that your behavior has influence over your mood there, and once you will feel better, it will be easier to take steps towards your goals and towards what matters for you. You still can choose to fight with the thought, or try to eliminate the thought, or push it away. For instance, when you are having a thought that you are not capable, that you are failing, you might try to push away the feeling, not to feel it, or to try to be happy, or to force yourself not to feel it. However, you would notice that you are just wasting your time trying to suppress the feeling, or not to feel the feeling, because it's not useful as well. Because even if you try to shut it down, it will continue to operate somewhere at the background, and as long as you don't recognize its existence and you don't accept the feeling, it will keep disturbing you. Therefore, instead of trying to suppress the feeling, or to push it away. Just let it be there. Accept that this feeling is there for a reason, and shift your focus and attention to what matters at that point. What could be different if these thoughts were not having so much power over you? And what was different about times when you didn't act on that thought and you did something differently? What was there about you that helped, that made possible? And who was there with you? Who contributed to it? Which environments helped you to stay focused on your goals and not to act on the thoughts? When you notice these exceptions, you can carry these habits and useful patterns towards the future, and it will be easier for you to realize which qualities will need to show up more for you in order to achieve your goal. If this video was helpful for you, please feel free to share your comments, and if you have any questions, I would be glad to answer them. If you want to work with me and to have more tailored approach towards your needs, you are always welcome to join me in an individual or group therapies.